Hello, everybody. This is the voice of tradition, Jonathan Darwin, and you're watching the Hashtag Truth with Scott Larson.
Bathfitter doesn't just fit your bath. We fit your life. When you're tired of looking at your tired old bath, we fit your style with hundreds of design options. When a normal day is anything but normal, we fit your schedule with our unique tub-over-tub process installed in as little as a day. When high quality is the only quality that matters, we fit your standards with a lifetime guarantee. Bathfitter, it just fits. Visit bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
Oh, yes, bathfitters.com, ladies and gentlemen. If you want a new bath, they'll come out. Just give them a call or go on bathfitters.com, and they'll come out and give you a free estimate. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hashtag Truth. Tonight, we have the one, the only, D'Angelo. How you doing, sir?
What's going on?
Oh, man, having a good time watching professional wrestling, man. Speaking of that, last Saturday – went out to HWA and got to meet you in person, sir. Got to shake your hand, ask you on the show. So thank you for coming, first of all.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to start you off like I do everybody else on Hashtag Truth for over 470-something episodes. How long you been into business? How'd you get started? And who started training you?
All right, so I made my debut in November of last year, on November 5th. Okay. I started training in February of 2021, and I was trained by Ethan Case.
Ethan Case, okay. So you're very up to date with Palmetto Championship Wrestling then, if you're an Ethan Case guy.
Absolutely.
Palmetto Championship Wrestling is a great organization, man. I love any chance I get to watch videos from them guys. It's always a great show. So it's awesome that you're involved with Ethan and them. Man, I'm telling you, I don't know why, but English don't want to come out of my mouth today, brother. I don't know what it is. All right, well. So we went to HWA last week. You went to HWA last week to wrestle. You went in there. What'd you think of the place? It was your first time. You got to meet some people. Pretty good crowd out there. What'd you think of HWA?
You know, it was a very good time. I had a blast just in the locker room alone, like getting to know some of the guys and seeing some guys that I already knew. The crowd was very welcoming. The ring was very comfortable to be in. Like that. That's my big thing. Like the first time I go to a promotion, I have to check out the ring, make sure the ring is good. But like everything was nice.
Hey, you step in that ring for the first time, it's like stepping on marshmallows, man. First time I ever stepped in that ring, it was like, whoa, I almost lost my footing because I wasn't expecting it to be so soft. Now, don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen, it's still a wrestling ring. There's still wood and steel underneath it. When you fall, it's still gonna hurt, but it feels good when you first start walking on it. And you were in a big match with Luke Fury, who's at the bottom right of my screen. And you had a big match with him. We're going to go over that match later on in the show. But what'd you think of Luke?
You know, I've worked a lot of shows with Luke Fury, but this is the first chance that we had to like interact and have a match. And you know, to be his age and be doing what he's doing now, like it's incredible. Like he can only get better. You know?
Right. I said the first time I saw him, and I call him kid, and I do that respectively because I'm 52. I mean, he's way younger than me. The first time I saw that kid wrestle, man, I looked up and I can't remember who was sitting next to me, but I said, man, NXT is going to be begging for this kid when he becomes of age. If he's this good already and he's green as all get out, when that kid gets good, he's going to be and you'll see, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see when the match comes on. It's good. It was a great match, let me tell you. And the crowd was hot out there. The crowd was bumping. You guys were the semi-main, and then the main event was right after it. And for both of those matches, it was very loud in the Gilkey Community Center. Now, let me ask you, what's your stats? How big are you? How tall?
I'm 6 foot, and I think I weighed in this morning at like 185.
185. So you weigh yourself often? You go to the gym often?
I do. I train very often.
Okay. So how many times a week do you train, if you don't mind me asking? I mean,
so thanks to Ethan Case, and I'm also one of the trainers at the Palmetto Wrestling Academy.
Okay.
We have a gym within our facility, and we have 2 rings. So like, I'm usually there on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But
so there's a mini NXT center down there in Columbia. Okay.
Oh, yeah, we do it all. We have that. We have a gym. We have a promo area with lights and stuff. It's really nice.
Oh man, I didn't even know that. And I've watched I don't know how many matches and interviewed. You're the first person that's told me that. So that's pretty cool. So when you go in there, I mean, you're not a really huge guy. You're big as far as tall and athletic, but do you go in to lift weights to get bigger, or do you go in there and just kind of, keep yourself fit and trimmed for speed?
So I've actually been trimming because when I debuted back in November, I was like maybe like 240, 250. So I was a heavier guy.
Okay.
So, like, yeah, just recently I've been cutting weight, and I feel better. I feel healthier, and I mean it has helped with like my speed and agility, because like I feel like I'm in high school again, essentially.
So when you first started, you said you were 250. Were you doing more power moves back then than you are right now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Spine busters, spears, everything, every big boy move you can think of. But
right.
I was still adding some agile stuff in there, because I was always agile. Like,
right.
I say I was 250, but like before I started training, I was 250 pounds playing running back in college, so.
Oh, okay. You did mention that while we were there. I got there a little early that day, and I overheard you talking to another wrestler mention that you went to college. I believe I even asked you what college you went to.
I'm not gonna speak on my college situation, because me and my school didn't really end on good terms. I didn't.
You good, man. You good. But it's just cool that you're. It just proves that your athletics had a lot to do with wrestling. I mean, being 250 pounds, like I said, you probably came in, more of a power guy, and as you started cutting the weight, like you said, you're more agile, quick, high flying. I mean, when I first saw you, I couldn't imagine you being 250 pounds. I just looked at you and thought, wow, you must, here's another skinny kid that, buffed up a little bit and he got in the ring. But that kind of shocks me. But that's a cool story, man. I love to hear stuff like that. Do you keep a regimen every week, like eating and a diet and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. My diet consists of like lean cuts of meat, like chicken, turkey, bison. I'm a big fan of bison. It's very healthy and nutritious.
Okay.
A lot of fruits and veggies, a whole lot of water. I like to throw in some salmon every once in a while. So like, just everything that's healthy, but that can still fill you up.
Okay, I got you. I like that healthy food too, but unfortunately, I eat a little bit too much of that junk food too. So I make 4 of you, brother. I'm just gonna be honest with you. But so what got you into professional wrestling? I know you said you started over a year, a year ago in the ring. But what actually made you start? Were you watching wrestling growing up, or did you have a family member in wrestling, or how did you become part of wrestling?
So wrestling's always been a part of my life since like 3 years old. So I actually told a story yesterday. When I had to be 3 or 4, and I was in my mom's room. I was watching movies, and I was being devious, and I found a tape, and the tape had a skull on it. So as a child, I'm like, oh, this is a scary movie. I'm not allowed to watch scary movies, but nobody else is home, so I'm gonna watch it. So
Okay.
I put it in thinking it's a scary movie, and it ends up being a Stone Cold Steve Austin home video.
Oh, snap. Right.
Yeah.
The skull, broken skull. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that
Gotcha.
was my introduction to pro wrestling. And it's him versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, him versus The Undertaker. Like, and I became a fanatic to the point where like I was almost too much of a fanatic. And wrestling brought so much emotion out of
I
me.
know we talked about cussing before the show comes on, but I bet you were walking around. Oh, hell yeah.
It got to
Can't
the
help
point-
it, man. That's just part of Stone Cold.
It got to the point where, as a little kid, I could recite the Austin 316 promo. So my mom would like take me around to all of her friends and be like,
Oh,
"Hey, watch
wow.
this," and I would recite it. Like,
Were they doing the what? What? That had to be fun. I mean, see, I love stories like that, man. I love when wrestlers tell me stories like that because that gets me more exciting about learning about all the wrestlers in our, I don't consider wrestling a sport. I consider it a lifestyle because once you get in it,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just a podcaster. I've never been in the ring, never been an in-ring talent. But man, it's a lifestyle. You get involved in it, you start learning these wrestlers and you start watching them. And especially when you see them go from the beginning of their career. And then, some of them in our area are actually making it to like NXT and things like that. It's very exciting for podcasters like us, man. So my next question will be, are you in this for the long haul? Are you looking to make it a career, or are you haven't thought that far ahead yet?
I definitely want to make it a career, and this was my first year, and like I feel like I had a really good first year, but starting 2024, like I have to speak this into existence. Like my goal is to get signed. It doesn't matter where. I can work with anybody, I feel like, but my goal is to get signed at the end of the day.
Okay. I mean that's, and I'm not to put doom or gloom on what you just said, but I told somebody a stat the other day and they couldn't believe it. And I had to actually show them that, with all the independent professional wrestlers we have out there, less than 1% get a contract for TV. So that tells you something about how hard you got to work. And man, I'm telling you, with what I saw Saturday, with just that little glimpse, man, I would love to come down to Palmetto and watch you down there with those guys, because there's a lot of big guys down there in Palmetto. Even your instructor down there, he's not a small guy.
Yeah, and Ethan was actually my debut match.
Oh man, that teacher versus student right off the bat. I bet you got a huge education for about 7 or 8 minutes, didn't you?
It was me and my tag partner at the time versus him and Chip Day. And we
Oh,
were
so
30
they
minutes.
actually put you in a tag team against. Okay, so that
Yep.
took a little bit off of you, but
We went 30 minutes.
30
in my
minutes
debut
in a
match.
tag team.
30
Wow.
minutes. But
Were you
every
baby or
moment of it-
heel?
Oh, we were baby.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's still a long match, man. That'll take stuff out of you.
The crazy part, it was a baby tag match because they were babyface too. But like we came out and from at Palmetto, like our students, we interact with the crowd before we even debut. Like,
Right.
we're the ones selling tickets or running concessions and stuff like that.
Right.
So they knew who I was from the get-go, and my debut was the main event of the show. And
Nice.
like I've wrestled in front of a lot of crowds, but I don't think I've been anywhere that's had a louder crowd than that night. So
Hey,
I'm still chasing that. I'm still chasing that day one reaction.
Palmetto. I mean, they know what they're doing down there. I've never seen a match. Of course, I've watched them all on video. I've never been there in person. I wish I could be. But every match I've seen, man, the crowd is always white hot down there. It's a great place. And I've never heard, and being a podcaster, I talk to a lot of wrestlers, whether it be online or I've never heard anything bad coming out of anybody's mouth about Palmetto. Haven't. Now, Other places, yeah, I could tell you a few bad things about here and there, but that's part of wrestling, though. Not every organization is everybody's cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes
Right.
you show up to an event thinking, hey, it's my first time, I'm going to show up. There might only be 10 people in the crowd, but you still got to go out there and wrestle. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And that's what I loved about HWA. That's exactly what I loved about HWA. Like, it wasn't a huge crowd, but they were invested. And,
Oh, yeah.
You have some guys they'll go in front of crowds like that and be like, oh, we can have an easy night. And I looked at Luke, I was like, hey man, like, we're gonna go. Like, these people took time out of their schedule to be here tonight.
Sweet.
Like, we
Oh,
can't
I bet Luke's eyes lit up when you said we're gonna go. Luke was probably like, yeah, man. I know Luke.
Oh,
He'd be like, yeah, man, let's do it.
Oh yeah. I was so excited when I walked in and they were like, yeah, you're wrestling Luke. Like, my eyes lit up. I was like, thank God. Like,
yeah. And all the fans out there were like, thank you. You'll see what I mean in just a few minutes. We're gonna get to our first commercial break. Right after this from Retro Toys and Collectibles, we're talking to D'Angelo. If you have any questions, comments, anything, put them up. I'll put them on the screen, man. This kid is a great wrestler. Let's ask him a ton of questions. Let's get deep. This is hashtag truth. He's in the hot seat, y'all. We'll be right back after this quick message.
This is 4-Foot Batman. And 4-Foot Batman knows the home of great collectibles at awesome prices. Retro Toys and Collectibles, movie memorabilia, Magic the Gathering cards, wrestling figures, Hot Wheels, the always popular Funko Pops, and much, much more. He knows the Hall of Collectibles is located in downtown Cherryville, North Carolina, at 400 East Main Street. Give them a call today, 980-989-5181. Retro Toys and Collectibles, the heavyweight champion in collecting.
Retro Toys and Collectibles right there in Cherryville, man. Give them a call. And the owner's name is Cotton. You call him up, tell him hashtag truth sent you, man. I'm telling you, if you collect anything, movie memorabilia, any kind of card game, board game, anything that has to do with any kind of collecting, if Cotton doesn't have it at his store, I guarantee you Cotton knows where to get it. So definitely give him a call. Now, D'Angelo, sir, I have to admit, I just realized we made a huge mistake. We're running the same time as Monday Night Raw, sir.
oh man. Oh man.
So my numbers are down a little bit. I looked up and I was like, man, why isn't anybody watching? And then it just hit me. Oh man, this is Monday night. It's 8:00. Raw is on, man. CM Punk's back. I mean, we're going up against these guys, but that's okay. Don't fret, because they'll come back. If they don't watch it live, they'll definitely come back and watch it afterwards. I always get pretty good numbers. So, but yeah, I just realized it. The two worst times when you do a wrestling podcast to run one is during Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, or during any pay-per-view, AEW or anything else like that. So we just happen to be doing that night. We got a couple of folks watching, though. Joseph said, good to see the podcast. Thank you, Joseph. We appreciate it. What about collecting outdated Redskin cat? Oh, dude, come on, man. Why you gotta do that? Why you gotta do that to my Redskins, dude? I mean, they didn't get beat this week. It was a bye week, but they didn't get beat.
Could be worse, man. You could be a Patriots fan.
Oh man.
I hate football.
or a Panthers fan. I mean, I hate to laugh. They got the number 1 draft pick, the first draft. I mean, the quarterback, and they've only won one or two games. It's bad, but whatever. It's good. So, do you like any other sport? I heard you say you played football in college. Did you like other sports growing up? Were you basketball, baseball, football?
Man, I played anything with a ball. I played it. In high school, I played football. I played basketball. I played soccer, and I ran track.
Oh wow.
So,
I was the three sport guy, but I didn't, of course, back then I was 165 pounds soaking wet. Now I'm 450, so there's no way, I tried getting on a basketball court, but it don't work out anymore. But when I was in high school, man, I used to run up and down a basketball court all day long. If you wanted to find me, if I was at school, I was either in class or on the basketball court in the indoor gym, or if I was already home, I was at Cleveland Park. I grew up in Milwaukee, so I'd go to Cleveland Park, which is right up the street. We always did pickup games. Oh, love that, dude. Loved it. I think that's where I got a lot of the spice that I have for hashtag truth, man. I got into this independent wrestling thing, and it hasn't let me go since. And I just love coming to shows and watching, guys like you who are, I can say this, you're kind of green. You're still, what, a year and a half, 2 years in? So, but you got a huge upside. And from what I can see, man, you're well-rounded, you're educated, you're well-spoken. Do you ever get shell-shocked when you walk into a locker room? Do you ever see somebody and go, oh, man, I got to be on my P's and Q's. That's so-and-so, or something like that?
So I think early on in my career, I had a moment like that. I worked a match in Charlotte where I faced Anthony Henry and Drew Adler.
Ooh.
And, I've never been the type to like when big names come in, I've never been the type to like freak out, because at the end of the day, they're human, So, I was excited for the match, but like I went in with that football mindset of like, hey, this guy puts his pants on just like me, one leg at a time.
There you go.
And we went out there and we had a great match. And that's
what I don't understand about some of these young kids that get in there and wrestle. They train. They'll train for 6 months in a ring. They'll go over all the stuff, but that first match comes and it's like they forget. Mm-hmm. It's like they get in there and they look like a deer in the headlights. Some of them get it. Some of them will get in there and, man, they're ready to go. But you got some, you put them in front of a crowd of 1,000 people and they just lose it. They look around like, yeah. This is what it's like. All eyes are on me now. Have you ever gotten that way? Have you ever walked in and, Palmetto or any of the places? And no. Good. I'm glad to hear that, man. Oh, looky here. The Rolls Royce of wrestling. Brino Royce said, cousin
Brino.
Yeah. Brino Royce is very popular around here, man. Have you ever had the opportunity to face Brino one-on-one?
I have not, but that is one that's on my list for next year. I got to get a match with Brino. We've talked about it, and he already knows. So
now Brino, I made the mistake when he first started wrestling, and he was, first coming out. I made the mistake of saying, this kid sucks. This kid ain't going nowhere. And I was being honest. I was like, I didn't see nothing. And then I went and saw him in person, and it all changed, man. This dude is one of the best technical wrestlers. Mm-hmm. I literally saw him before a show get in the ring with like 4 or 5 guys and mat wrestle. Not, like you guys, like a normal, pro wrestling match, but I'm talking about like college wrestling wrestle in the ring with, holds and flipping people over. And he did it for 3 or 4 guys, got up and wasn't even tired. I looked at him and I went, dude, 5 minutes into that first match, I would have been done. And he did it for like 45 minutes and he wasn't even breathing hard, dude. He's a very good wrestler. So Brino, man, I apologize if I haven't apologized 1,000 times. I'll apologize again, man. I was wrong. He is as good as advertised. So is there anybody else on your list? You said you have a list of wrestlers that you'd like to go see, man. I'm pretty sure you were expecting this question. Who is those wrestlers in the indies who you haven't wrestled yet that you would like to wrestle?
Man, the list goes on, honestly. Like, who's another?
Okay, let me put it to you this way then. Your top 3, the 3 guys that you gotta wrestle these guys. If God came down and told you tomorrow, sir, you had 3 wrestling matches left, who would the 3 guys be?
Moose would definitely be one. He's kind of like my inspiration. He's not an indie guy, but he's another one of my big inspirations, and that's Cedric Alexander. That'll probably be my second one.
Oh man, I love it. Another North Carolina kid. Yes,
definitely. And this was kind of funny, but like since everybody always tells me that I look like him, I had to say Caprice Coleman. Like
there you go. There you go.
word that got around when I had first started training or whatnot. This is before I even debuted. And they were like, everybody was going around and saying, like, telling Caprice, like, hey, there's this kid at Palmetto that looks just like you. So then we run into each other at a show. And he's like, wow, you do look like me. We kind of
You guys should have tagged that night. You guys should have went to the promoter and said, dude, you got to put us in a tag together.
Nah, man. I would definitely love to do that one day, especially with him and like his actual son. Because his son just debuted recently. So
oh man, that's great.
Something I would love to do one day.
Now, Joseph has a really good question. He said, D'Angelo, do you think your past round would have been helpful?
An amateur wrestling background?
Meaning like wrestling in high school, college?
Yeah, I mean, with Palmetto, like we have a lot of guys that were collegiate wrestlers that come in and like they'll teach shoot wrestling classes like every few months or whatnot. So I mean, I will say I have the benefit of learning from them. But looking back, if I could have went back and like did wrestling back then, it probably would have helped, especially with a lot of like grappling and submissions and holds and stuff like that, and how to get out of stuff. That definitely would have
the chain wrestling, it would have definitely helped you with.
Absolutely.
Right. I can understand that, man. But hey, not everybody does that. I'm pretty sure that Hulk Hogan didn't wrestle in high school. I'm pretty sure there was a few other great wrestlers. Okay, maybe not Hulk Hogan. Don't shoot me if you think Hulk Hogan's not a great wrestler. I get it. But you know what I'm saying. You got to say that because there's a lot of haters out there, man.
that's I always tell them that's before my time. Like,
right. So when did you start watching wrestling on TV? I know you said you watched the Stone Cold tape, but is that when you started, when Stone Cold in that era?
I started right then, which I'm 23. So like Stone Cold was semi on his way out the door.
Did you get to see the Monday Night Wars?
Not really, no. I was born.
Oh man, second one in a row. That's to me. I'm sorry, that's the best era in wrestling in my life so far, man. Was the Monday Night Wars.
Watched it. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, but it was nothing like watching it back then. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody else knew. Everybody was watching it together. You know, if there was podcasting and all that back then, oh my gosh, that would have blew up. That would have blew up so bigger. NWA, when it first started, that would have blew up so bigger than it was. I'm not saying it wasn't big. It was the biggest thing in wrestling, but it would have been a lot bigger. Elliot Potston said the PCW Mid-Carolina Heavyweight Champion.
That's my guy.
Okay.
So Elliot is one of the owners of PCW. And then like, he's been our announcer as well. And like I always save a clip from my matches strictly of him announcing my name, because I get to shows and like people just rush through the name like D'Angelo, and then it's just like, yeah. But Elliot stretches it out so perfectly that the crowd just erupts every time he does it.
Now I have to admit, now Joey announced your name last Saturday, and it wasn't just D'Angelo. He that all went out for a while, because I just watched the beginning of the match again, and it was like, ooh, okay.
He did, man. Like it, I don't know. It hits different with Elliot, man. Like I show that clip to other announcers to make sure that they do it like that.
It's always more fun. It's always more fun when you hear your name announced the way they announce every name in like WWE. The announcers in WWE just know they know if they don't do it that way, they're fired. They're just going to get fired. Right. You know what I mean? Everybody is a superstar at that point, and that's the way they should treat you in the indies. I mean, to get you ready for that. Absolutely. I mean, if there's an announcer that's not doing that, shame on them. I'm just being honest as a fan. I'm saying, again, I don't want emails. I don't want messages. As a fan, I want to hear, D'Angelo. I don't want to hear, and in this corner, D'Angelo. What?
Right.
Whatever. All right. Speaking of promoters, Michael Butler said, good evening, gentlemen. How you doing, Michael? Welcome back to Hashtag. Joseph Burns said D'Angelo versus Gemstone could be interesting. Okay.
I'm down.
Now, that was going to be my next question, because right after that, my last question here in this segment, and then we're going to come back at the commercial and we're going to watch a match of yours together, you versus Luke Fury. But the question was, could be interesting. Did you have you is there anybody that you wouldn't get into the ring with? Is there anybody that you might have heard rumors from? There's some wrestlers that do this. If you heard rumors that he's not safe or this and that, have you ever said no?
No, I mean, I've obviously, like, everybody's trained different, but I feel like I've been put in a situation and I was trained to be able to protect myself in those situations. So if there's someone that isn't properly trained, give me them, and like working with them will help them learn instead of just giving them a reputation of being a bad worker. Like, I will willingly work with them if they're willing to learn. Like, I'm not a vet or anything like that. I'm just somebody that like, I care about people, and I don't want to see somebody get a bad reputation, because like we all signed up to do this because this was a dream for everybody at some point. Right. So if the person is willing to get better, I'll work with them all day. If they're willing to learn, you go. Because I mean, I don't know everything, but I can teach them what I know. And like, if they're known as a safe,
and that's how it drives me nuts, man. I used to do these things called rants. I used to rant all the time, and one of the things I used to rant was, give us something to invest in. In other words, just what you said, the younger wrestlers might not know everything, but what they know and what they've gotten, they can help the younger ones that are just coming in to do that much, and that's less on the trainers, and then you can start learning more stuff more quickly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Joseph said, you still rant. Not as much, buddy. Not as much. Alexander Polk said, what's up? Elliot, when we were talking about the ring announcers, it's all about proper cadence and emphasis. Yes, it is. I 100% agree.
Elliot just has that voice, man. I'm telling you. He's got some.
Michael Butler says, I like what I'm hearing. You got a promoter's ear right now, sir, right here on #Truth. I love it. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that.
Hit me up, Michael. I'm available.
There you go. Well, we're going to do this quick commercial. Then when we come out of that commercial, we are going to watch D'Angelo in action, all of us together. There's going to be no sound because, unfortunately, YouTube is really and Facebook are really weird. And if they hear any sounds that sound like music or this and that, I get hits and I just don't do it. So we're going to watch it with no sound. And plus, you can hear us talking about the match, and I'll ask D'Angelo questions, and you can do the same thing. So please do. We'll be right back after this quick messages from L&L Fence Company.
L&L Fence Company, specializing in custom fencing from wood and aluminum to chain link. 9331 Albemarle Road in Charlotte, North Carolina. Give them a call today for your free estimate. 704-563-9544. L&L Fence Company, the king in custom fencing.
L&L Fence Company in Charlotte. If you want any kind of fence put up in your yard, give them a call. They'll come out. They'll give you a free estimate. All you got to do is give them a jingle on that number. Joey said, hometown hero.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Joey is one of my Little League football coaches.
Okay. And Shane Dorr, I know who he is. He said, Angelo is pure fire.
Yes, sir.
I love it. All right, guys, it's that time. Let's get this thing going. Here we are. This is going to be a match that happened just last weekend at HWA Wrestling. This is D'Angelo, and you can see Luke Fury climbing into the ring. He had a little trouble after D'Angelo came out of getting back into the ring. He played the little scaredy cat thing for a little bit. If you look dead center, you'll see my big yellow hat, my big head, my Redskins hat right there. Next to me to the left is my good friend. And over to the far left in the red T-shirt, leaning over with the two ladies, that's my daughter and my wife right there. So this was all of us were there. So Chris said, D'Angelo. There you go.
That's my boy.
All right, let's get this thing started. Pretty good crowd out at HWA. Like I said, it was pretty interesting. People were really giving Luke Fury a hard time for not getting in the ring.
Oh no, when they started the crybaby chant, I started dancing.
Oh, crybaby. We love doing that out there to him because he gets all fired up.
I will say that's one thing I liked about Joey. Like he was very comical with his announcing.
Oh yeah.
He announced him as Crybaby Luke Fury.
Oh, got to get him in, and that gets him to start raging and throwing a fit. And everybody just loves when he throws a fit. So you're over in the corner. They're announcing him right now. This is his announcement. They're about to announce you. So you're chilling out. Oh, and he comes right over and he gives you a push in the chest, man. I mean, no doubt who's the heel in this one.
Yeah. I wasn't phased.
There you go. Your name just got called, and it was called long and hard and nice, good cadence, just like we had said. Crowd was into it. Now I'm down there. I'm actually jotting on my phone. If you see, I don't have my head up. I have my head down, and I'm jotting on the phone my notes for the HWA show for tomorrow. This is one of the matches that I'll be going over, everybody. But he's still saying "shut up" and stomping. The crowd was just into this match, and you were like cheering him on, saying, "Come on, keep doing it." I love it. So how do you go into, let me ask you this right off the bat. How do you go into a match like this? You see Luke Fury, you've seen him around, you know he's athletic, you know he's a high flyer, much like yourself. How do you go into a match with another high flyer? What is your thought process?
So my thought process is because I don't necessarily see myself as just a high flyer.
Right.
You know, I don't necessarily have a style, but you know, I try to move around with him, test him out with some basic stuff just to see how he moves. And then that'll only help me know how I need to move, if that makes sense.
He even grabbed the mic and started telling everybody to shut up. I mean, they were eating that up. All right, we should be getting into wrestling here shortly. But see, don't get me wrong. I know you're more than a high flyer, but I'm just saying you could keep pace with a high flyer if you had to. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? You can go on the top rope. You can do, things off the ropes that most big men can't. I'll put it that way. Going right into a headlock. Oh, okay.
He caught me slipping.
Acting like a big man when he's not. Oh, you almost missed that, but you got it. You got him though. Nice. Got the crowd riled up. See, I like that when you do a move and instead of just going into your next move, you give that, like kind of look like you're really into the match. That gets the crowd pumped up.
Yeah, man. Like keeping.
Now he's calling timeout. This is the only thing I don't like about a chicken heel, is it takes them so long to get in the ring and start wrestling. That's the only. I like the gimmick, don't get me wrong, but when they don't get in the ring, it takes them forever. It's like, all right, come on, wrestle now. All right, here he comes. You're like, what's going on, man? Are you going to wrestle? You're giving that look like, okay, come on, any day now. And he does this.
And that's when I flipped the switch.
That's it. And you did, too. Look at that. Threw him in the corner, going straight for the midriff. Uh-oh. Slinging him across. He reverses.
Oof.
He didn't go in there too well, did he?
Nah, we actually went over that afterwards. Like I taught him like the proper way to go under that. But I mean, it's a learning experience.
Right. Nice. Quick pin. Too early. 2 count.
See, the goal with those quick pins though is not necessarily to win the match, but like I'm putting all my body weight on him.
Right. You're tiring him out even more.
Right.
Making him use more energy. But Luke Fury's got energy to burn, man. It's going to take a while to get his energy completely down.
Right.
Oh, he's giving you some kicks. Oh, right to the chest. Oh, then he added insult to injury by throwing a piece of his armband at you.
Yeah, it stunk.
Oh, going in there with the fist. Referee's warning him. Okay, now he's trying to do now. See, this is one part that I didn't understand. If you look at me down there, my head's kind of cocked sideways. I'm like, Luke, you're not a big guy. Why are you giving him a big old front face headlock and try? I understand the strength thing, but that's not his game. He's trying to make it his game, but it's not his game. Now this is Luke's game. Take out a limb. There you go. Now he's back on track. Uh-oh. Got the rope.
Ring awareness. Can't do that close.
Very good.
So the ref actually got to a 5 count right there. So the match should have been over. He said 5.
I saw that.
He stopped.
He's still working on that leg.
I did thank him for working the left leg.
Single leg Boston Crab. He's right on your back too. That's well done.
I mean, he weighs $130. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah, I know.
I'll let him crawl and get to the rope. So.
There you go. Now, does he release it in 5 this time? Yes, he does. I have to give him credit though. He didn't give you any time. He didn't. I mean, he goes from one move to another. Here you go. Now he's giving you a little breather. Slowly, methodically getting you up. Oh, big chop.
So the chop itself didn't suck, but I had on a chain, and my chain got stuck in between his hand and my chest. So I had to part with the chain.
Oh no. Well, that'll help you remember this match for a little bit, right?
Oh yeah.
So now we're starting to chant things because I'm looking over at people. So we're starting to get loud. We're starting to chant things. He's got you up. Looks like he's going to try to get you over. Oh, it didn't work. Trying to work on your back again. Loosen you up a little bit. Try to get you up again. Oh, and you reverse it. Nice. Nice suplex. Okay, now that's something that I have to commend you for because so many times you see young wrestlers forget about what's going on in the match. They'll pop right up and they'll be okay, and they go, You're still having a hard time standing." I love that.
Absolutely.
He's going up to the top. This is what you got to defend against when it comes to Luke Fury. Up, and you did. Well scouted. Well scouted.
So from my angle, it looks so good. I was like, dang, I kind of want to stay and take this, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna get out of the way.
It looks so good in the air, but no, I'm not gonna do this.
He overshot me too, so I was like, yeah, I gotta move.
Uh-oh. Lift you over. Block. Headbutt. Nice. Still limping. I love it. Enziguri. There you go. Big top rope move. I love it. I love it.
So
going for the pin?
I usually kip up out of that, but I was like, nah, not on that leg.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I would have gave you a look like, really? He was beating on your leg for half the match, and you're just going to kip right up, huh? Good. I'm glad you didn't. It's good.
Sometimes
again, ring awareness. It's the psychology of the match, man.
You just got to save the flashiness sometimes.
Right? Got him up. Oh, come on, ref. Get out of the way. Oh, kick to the. And he did it again. He didn't go in right again. But hey, other than that, the match went pretty well.
Oh yeah.
Now, he had a 3 count, but he lifted your head up.
This is where he messed up.
And that's when we started booing even harder. Now, I've got to ask you, how many, and you don't have to tell me what they were, but how many moves did you and Luke go over in the back before you came out?
Not
Round
much,
number.
honestly. Like,
Good.
He
Good.
knows what I do. I know what he does. Like,
Good.
Kinda...
See, I like that. I like that better when 2 wrestlers get in the ring and they call it themselves. They do it themselves. They let the match dictate. You know what I'm saying?
Now we laid our foundation on what we wanted to present, and then we just kind of let everything happen naturally. And the big thing I told him right before I went out, I was like, "Hey, man," and this is advice that I got from the Heat Seekers, who are one of the best tag teams in the Indies right now.
Right.
Because when I wrestled them, they told me, they were like, "Hey, if you feel like you're going too slow, slow down." So he
messed up and he gave you the win. All righty. Well, that was a great match, man. You came away victorious because he got to he wanted to do a little bit more beating, but you wasn't about to take that. I'm glad. Michael Butler said the ref is killing me. Yeah, he got in the way a few times with the camera angle we had, but great match. You know, a few small minor mess ups, you know, there, but nothing that couldn't be. You know, if you ran that match again, I guarantee you we'd never notice. You know what I'm saying?
And which is kind of funny because like when we got there, Chris Hamrick, he was like, "Now I don't want this to be a spot fest," but like and don't get me wrong, like having a spot fest is okay when you are in front of the right crowd, which that was
right. I mean, but you two are all about, and I don't want to use the word high flying because that's not what I'm looking at. You two are all about quick, athletic moves, and that's what I saw in that match. You know, there was chain wrestling, there was, you know, off the top rope. I mean, you did say my mind just went blank. Where you bounced off the rope, yeah. And you know, there was athletic moves in there, but I didn't consider that watching it. That never even crossed my mind. Right. And I've watched many matches, you know. AEW didn't even have as many spots as you do, you know, or you didn't have as many spots as an AEW match would have had in theirs. You know what I'm saying? AEW is just a big spot fest, some of their matches. Yeah. But I like that. It told a story. He hurt your leg. You kept the leg hurt through the whole match, even after the match was over. Even when the ref was raising your hand, you still was, you know, leaning on that leg. I thought that was great. I mean, I'm just a podcaster and a fan, but you know, that's what'll make me come back. That's what. Here we go. I got to do it. That's what'll give me something to invest in. That's what'll make me want to come back and watch D'Angelo wrestle again. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
That right there is that lets me know that, number one, you were well trained. Number two, you listened. And number three, we're going to get a good match no matter where we go or where you're at or how many people's in the crowd. D'Angelo is going to, you know, go out there and, like you said, give it your all.
Absolutely.
Michael Butler said the ref needs to be able to keep up with what's going on in the ring. I agree with that. I do agree. D'Angelo, the ref is a slow worker and doesn't really participate in a match. Do you enjoy working with a ref like that or one that is more interactive? Good question.
You know, I try to, like I said, I try to work with everybody. And I mean, you know, the ref did come to me after the match. He was like, "Hey, is there anything that you saw that I could have worked on?" And I was like, "Nah." Like in the moment, I was like, "Nah, man. Like you're good." And you know, people don't understand how important a referee's job is. Like we have a referee at Palmetto who, for one, Ironman's every show and refs every match. But like he is always on it. Like no matter what the situation is. And
Right.
you know, like I said, like, which granted, I'm glad we got to have the full match, but if the referee was more alert in the moment, then the match would have been over via disqualification when Luke had my leg and the ref got to a 5 count.
Right.
You know, per rules, you have to stop the match.
Right. Exactly. I agree. Now, there's always a referee. There's always referees out there who, like, you know, Joseph said here, that are very active in the ring, that, you know, are always right up in your face, that, you know, they're on top of it. But sometimes they can be too active. Now, my perspective as a fan is the ref is I will never, ever, you will never hear out of my mouth that the ref isn't one of the most important things in a match. You can't have a wrestling match without a ref.
Absolutely.
Okay. You just can't. Okay. But a ref, if he does his job and does it well, he's seen, but he's not remembered.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The wrestlers are going to be remembered, but the ref's not, unless of course there's a gimmick part where, you know, you hit the ref, he falls down and you got to go over and you got to wake him up, you know, something like that. Yeah, you'll remember the ref in, but very few and far between do you have matches like that. So for the most part, it's all about, if you don't remember the ref did a great job. You know what I'm saying? If you walk away from a match going, man, that ref missed that 5 count, that ref missed this, that ref missed that, the ref took over the match, because nobody's talking about the wrestlers. You know what I'm saying?
You know, and I try to look at wrestling referees the same way I looked at football referees throughout my career.
Right.
Like, there's some refs that are gonna throw a game because they don't like the team that you play for. They're probably good with the team that you're playing against, and that's the truth. And I'm not saying he was for Luke, but like, I still have to go out there and play my game. And
Joseph said, and the rants are active. We're both ranting, but it's all good, man. It's all good. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, few and far between you ever get a ref that either totally messes up or isn't on his game, or, you know, even most referees, most companies won't let a referee get in the ring unless they've seen them referee, or they come in early and, you know, referee a blind match or something like that. They got to see them in action. You know, I don't know of any person out there who runs a wrestling organization who will sight unseen, never seen the guy move. Oh yeah, we'll hire you, we'll pay you this, come on in and referee our match. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing like a wrestler. You know, if you're a good promoter, you're going to ask for, you know, where'd you wrestle, where, you know, and promoters will usually ask other wrestlers or other promotions, hey, what do you think of this guy? You know, I think he said it earlier in the show, but I'll ask him again. Joseph wants to know, what is your build height?
I am 6 foot even.
6 foot even. There you go. 6 foot tall. We're going to hit this last commercial break. And when we get out of that, we're going to come back and we are going to ask you to tell us where we can find you on social media, where you're coming up in your following matches, because we'll be down to about 7 minutes left in the show. It's been a fantastic show so far. If you have any more questions, be sure to get them in right now, because we're about to hit our last segment right after this short message from Kimbrough.
As a parent, you know that your child deserves nothing but the absolute best. We couldn't agree more here at Kimbrough. And the best is exactly what you'll find in stores and online. Whether you're looking for a single mattress, bunk beds, or an entire bedroom set, Kimbrough is here to help your child get the rest they need to live the life they deserve. Bring the whole family in to try things out for yourself, and be sure to ask about our flexible financing options. Stop by in North Carolina, South Carolina, or Georgia today.
Kimbrel's Home Furnishing, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Kimbrels.com. Go check them out if you're looking for any kind of furniture. They have great payment plans. Go check them out online, or you can call them by looking them up. Just Google them. You'll find them. There's over 50 locations in the 3 states. So you'll find one close to you. I guarantee it. Michael Butler said, I enjoyed the match. I liked what I saw. Hey, hit him up, Michael, if you got a show coming up, man.
Hit me up.
Without a doubt. All right, sir. So we're at that time and place in the show where I like to ask people, where do we find you on social media, or how does a promoter or anybody get a hold of you if they want D'Angelo to wrestle at their show?
All right. So I'm on Facebook at Tylen D'Angelo Lysa. I did share the live as well, so my name is complicated. I always tell people that. 9 times out of 10, if you're in wrestling and you just type in D'Angelo, you'll see me. It's a picture of me holding my belt. You'll see me. Instagram and TikTok are d.angelo_pro. So, which all of that is also in my Facebook. So if you're watching on Facebook, just go to my page, go to my link tree, and you'll have access to my Instagram, my Twitter, my TikTok, my YouTube, everything. So that's about it.
Joseph said, I'll ref a D'Angelo versus Scott Larson match. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll actually let somebody book that, but I'll tell you right now, that will be the shortest match ever in D'Angelo's career, because he'll hit me with one move and get the 1, 2, 3. I mean, it'll be the easiest win he's ever gotten. It'll be almost as bad as the finger poke of doom.
How about I hit you? I hit you and I pass out. You get the 1, 2, 3.
Oh, no. You can't put me over like that. No. That would go to my head, bro. You can't.
No, I'll put you over.
That would go to my head, man. I just can't have that happen. All right, man. Talk about where you're going to be at. We got a few more minutes left. Talk about where you're going to be at on upcoming shows where we can come out and see D'Angelo in person.
All right. So I am in Hidden Night, North Carolina on Saturday with
ACCW?
Yep, Apple City. I'm wrestling Thomas Extreme.
Nice.
I'm excited. This is my second time back there, and that's another great crowd.
I love the Hidden Night Arena because it's not that big and there's not a bad seat in the house. I don't care where you sit around that ring. It's a great place to go watch and be in a wrestling match.
That is the loudest crowd that I've ever wrestled in front of. The loudest crowd.
And they have some sweet belts at ACCW. That Apple Championship belt, oh my goodness, I drool every time I see that. And I'm a fan. I'm like, man, I wish I had that belt. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, Michael Butler said that would be a great match. No, it wouldn't. Don't lie to people, Michael, man. Don't lie to people like that. But yeah, ACCW is a great place. Where else are you going to be?
So I'm there Saturday. Sunday, I'm at Extreme World Wrestling in Monroe, North Carolina. That's going to be another great show. We have Moose coming in. We have Lance Archer coming in. So they're at XWW. We have a cosplay championship, and I'm actually the cosplay champion, which I have. And
okay, so you got some gold over there.
Yeah, so I'll be cosplaying as Michael Jackson's Thriller, and I will be wrestling the Grinch. So that's gonna be pretty fun.
Oh my gosh! Okay, can you moonwalk?
Absolutely.
Oh, I've got to come see that. Send me the poster for that one, man. I've got to see that. I've got to see that. If you record that, please send me the recording, bro. I'm gonna bug you. I'm gonna bug you until I see it. Because man, I love matches like that, man. When it's just wholehearted fun. You just go in there. I don't know if you take the belt serious or not, but it's a fun belt to have. I imagine it's a fun belt to defend.
It's so much fun. So we did the first show we did was Halloween, and I did the Michael Jackson Thriller, and my match was against Freddy Krueger and Leatherface. And man, when I tell you, we had so much fun. Like the wrestling wasn't even important. The important part was just going out there and having fun and trying not to laugh.
Michael Butler said, "I love Thomas. Thomas Extreme." Yes.
Thomas is the man. Thomas is the man, and like I've been looking forward to this match. So I can't wait till Saturday. Also, if there's any promoters in here, I am available on Friday. Please hit me up.
Okay, there you go. D'Angelo's telling you he's available Friday and he can travel. And he's already told you, if you don't know how to hit him up, ask me and I'll send you the link to his Facebook page and get you hooked up with him, man. So if you don't have him on your friends list, you will as soon as you talk to me. I'll tell you that. Man, well, it's been a pleasure, sir, having you on Hashtag Truth. Come back here in a short while and let us know. I definitely want to, if you have that recorded, we will go over that match, the Grinch versus Michael Jackson. I just
Absolutely.
thriller Michael Jackson going up against the Grinch. That's even better. So there you go. Joseph said D'Angelo is one of the most respected and good interviewees Scott has presented. Thank you. I'm going to thank you because I said that to him earlier, man. He is very well spoken. You can tell he's educated. You can tell he's nothing rattles him. That's all the things I look for in a wrestler, dude. It's great. And it was a pleasure meeting you last Saturday at HWA. And I hope you come back to HWA soon because I'd like to see more of you. I'll let you know that as an HWA fan and as the fan club president. If you do come back, I am doing a HWA show, which will be starting tomorrow. Let me get the graphic real quick. Be doing an HWA live tomorrow with yours truly, the HWA fan club president. It's going to be at 7 p.m. We're reviewing the last matches of HWA, previewing the upcoming matches, and we could get into some interviews tomorrow night. And since I've got D'Angelo on tonight, I'm not going to ask him for double duty, but it's been a pleasure, man. It has really been a pleasure. And please let me tell you, please come back to Hashtag Truth. It has been a great night. All right, everybody. D'Angelo, Palmetto Championship Wrestling, ACCW, and all the other places he wrestles. You don't want to meet. You don't want to miss. I told you, I speak English. I really
don't want to meet him.
You don't want to meet this kid. No, you don't, because he'll probably beat you up. No, I'm just kidding. You don't want to miss D'Angelo wherever he's at, ACCW, Palmetto, HWA, because he is an up-and-comer, and trust me, he's going places, and that is the Hashtag Truth. We'll see you guys on the next show.